Well, unfortunately, what Trump has done on the tariffs generally is destroy decades of effort with India, but with a lot of other countries as well, to build up good faith and trust and reliance on the United States. And it will take time to repair that. That's the unfortunate reality. But here's where I think it's important to understand that Trump is aberrational. I don't know anybody else, Republican or Democrat, who ran for president, let's just say in 2024, who, if elected, would behave anything like this. Trump's doing a lot of things domestically in the United States that are cause for great concern for us as well. And I don't know any other candidate from 2024 who would do that. Trump doesn't have a philosophy. So I think ultimately there's no legacy for him to leave to his successors, whoever they might be. And I believe that the force of his personality inhibits a lot of people from speaking up, but that doesn't mean they agree with what he's doing. That's very unfortunate in my view. But I think the true strategic sense here, particularly for a country like India with its assets and capabilities and threats that it faces right on its own border, is just to take a deep breath and remember that the world's going to last longer than the next 3.5 years, and it's not pleasant to go through this. I'm not going to try and persuade anybody of that, but our objective should be to keep the damage to the relationship at a minimum, and then to think about how to repair it as quickly as we can thereafter. Because I think that when Trump walks off the stage, he will take almost the bulk of this history with him. But I have to say also that the sanctions as written do not preclude India or anybody else from buying at the capped Russian oil price or below $60 a barrel and then selling it elsewhere. So if that's what the complaint is, the complaint lies with the sanctions, not so much with India's behavior. Part of the reason the price cap is there at all is that the U.S. and Europe didn't want to impose a complete prohibition on the purchase of Russian oil because they wanted to keep global energy prices down. They didn't want to force Russian oil off the market entirely because they didn't want price at the gas pump in the United States or Europe to go up. And what that shows is when you've got sanctions that have two different goals, in fact, two contradictory goals, one is reduce revenues to Russia for the sake of the war, the other is to keep U.S. gasoline prices at home down, those are contradictory. The right answer is the right answer from the sanctions drafter is to say it's prohibited to buy any Russian oil or gas. Now that poses other difficulties, but if you don't like what India has done, then amend the sanctions to say no purchases of Russian gas permissible under these sanctions can be sold onward at a higher price to other countries. Then if India had violated that part of the sanctions, there'd be a different. But the sanctions don't prohibit what India did.